theater, the time becomes more intense. When you talk with images, you bring a lot of more information in the room all of a sudden than when you were just telling one story, because all of a sudden there are many stories in one room. Usually in these theater workshops there's one very important rule, and that means that you look after yourself. So most of the time when people look after themselves, they also look after everybody else. Yeah? When you're careful with yourself, when you respect your own needs, when you act according to how you feel and what makes you feel good, then usually that brings a lot of respect in the room and a lot of good working atmosphere. There is no right or wrong. There's only the way that we create. Augusto Boal, he was our teacher, the man who invented this sort of theater, and he used to quote a Spanish poet, Antonio Machado, and he said, there is no way, you have the ways, you make them by walking them. Okay? So we all invent our own theater way here. You could see how everybody was craving for harmony and avoiding conflict, like everybody was only talking about the beautiful things in life. Friends, sports, good food, traveling. So in the afternoon we had to look for the differences. And we had to give space to the fact that we all have desires and that they're sometimes not the same, that sometimes we're in conflict. And we try to work on the idea that conflict is a space for learning. And it's not something negative, but it's through this and through the differences we can learn. And then we were working in small groups of 4 and trying to look for these complicated issues through images. That's easier than looking for the words. And we found that the 5 groups who were making images, they connected, and they found out that they had similar issues, and that truly surprised them. So still being aware that every country's context is very, very different, as our participants' contexts are, but they were still, they recognized part of themselves in the others.
You also have here family, I think. Children. Could be. So the collage is dedicated to family, and you have her work in the calling or class of students.
Yes. So it's very good to see that. We're talking always about the family life, and it tells a lot of me personally. It is a very sad thing. I have a sad life.
That's not true.
We
didn't get that impression.
Yeah, but I have really sad life, but I don't have the feeling that I'm sad or I'm lonely or something like that. I feel very happy and have strength, and I'm very surprised to see this, or that you are so familiar, so together. And I'm always in the class, and the class is for me very important, and there I have a lot of people and my colleagues. But at home I have only 2 children, and that's all. And my father, my mother, don't see so much. And I was 17, I left, and I have a lot of stories about my life.
In our country, this is normal that we all live together. Family ties are important.
So, but you have to study, and I have to leave the home because it was in another town.
I left when I was at the university, and now I'm living far away from my parents. I mean, my mother and from my father and my sisters, my brothers. They live in another city. I live in another city, but we are always trying to find time to. I mean, even in summers, we just arrange some time, force ourselves to be together, because the family ties are.
But there is a baby though.
Yeah, very important.
Very tight. Yeah.
We call it ethics education. You could call it human rights education. You could call it peace education. It's working with values. It's trying to better understand and respect each other. And We do it all under the umbrella of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. We see it, what we do, as a contribution to the implementation of the Convention for quality education. We have developed an educational manual, which we call Learning to Live Together. And this is the program on ethics education, on value education. It's a manual for the teachers. This is not for the students. It's for the teachers, it's for the youth leaders. And it's resources to work with children and young people. And in a way, it's a pedagogical approach. We have talked, since I came yesterday, also a lot about how to change attitudes, how to work with approaches, and this is exactly what it is. And we have developed this together with UNICEF and UNESCO, who have endorsed it and spread it to, in their constituencies. In the top here, you write the name of a person that means a lot to you. In the left hand, you write what is your religion. In the right hand, what is the music that you like. And in one of the legs of the star, you write a place that you like. It can be a country, can be a city, can be whatever. A place that you like. The other leg, your favorite activity. You walk around and you read, without commenting, you read what the others have written. Now I would like you to, 2 by 2, share with each other what you have written. Who is the person that means the most to you? What is the music that you like? What is the activity that you prefer to do? You probably found some differences with the person you talk to, but I hope you found some similarities also.
A lot of us like to travel. They're all places where we feel comfortable and calm and safe. For example, we had the woods or under a tree, and we also had the seaside and parents' garden, but all of them had in common a fact that they are safe havens. With differences, we don't really talk about differences, but religion is the obvious difference. It's not really a central part of, well, talking to other people. You don't define yourself by your religion to begin with. It rather centers around what makes us as human beings, what we like, what we enjoy doing. And we found that, in fact, the difference came when we were talking about age rather than religion and background.
Okay, let's listen to next village. What kind of village is this?
It's really a cosmopolitan village, and I would like to say that actually every person has something different. We can find in our group that many people like Jewish music, or we share the same religion, some of us, but actually each person is really original and we like different things. So that makes us.
So there are both similarities but differences.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, because when we share like this about who we are and our what we like and what we don't like, where we come from, also our values, as you have done in the project here before you came here, we learn, of course, also something about ourselves. There is a French author, Rodel, who